Welcome to Kent District Library's Summer Wonder program, Teen Tuesdays at Home. I'm Adriana from the Wyoming branch. Thanks for tuning in. Today's Stacie's awesome origami program, which will begin shortly. I wanted to make sure to mention Summer Wonder. Don't forget to sign up. It goes on until August 7th and is a great way to keep up your reading and activities while earning cool prizes. For more information, you can go to kdl.org/summer, sorry. And if you have any questions, stop by your local branch. Thanks for tuning in today, and without further ado, here's Stacie, a professional origami artist, and her awesome origami.
Hi, I'm Stacie Tamaki. Today I'll be showing you how to fold an origami paper heart and a star box you can fill with hearts. Thank you for joining me. These are the models I'll be showing you how to fold today. A little origami heart and what is called a star box. And you'll notice with the box that the printed side of the paper can be placed on the inside or on the outside. This is an origami heart. I'd like to show you how to make it, but one of the reasons I love it is because it has this flap and you can set things in it. So here, say you want to write a little note, you can write a note and you can tuck it into the heart, just like that. I love that. This one is folded from a 3-inch square of paper. This one is folded from a 6-inch square of paper. It's 15 centimeters or 6 by 6 inches. It's white on the back, colored on the front. We are going to begin by putting the white side face up, and we'll fold the paper in half. The way I fold paper in half is very precisely. The more precise your folds are, the better your end result will be. So here you can see I've aligned the corner. It's aligned all the way to the center. You're not seeing this. You're not seeing the white from the other side come through. And I'll put a pinch right there in the center. I go back, make sure my corners are still aligned, and put a pinch right there. And then I very gently pinch inward toward that center. I flip the paper over, and I'll repeat that process again, like this. And then I use my fingernail and put a hard crease in by pressing my thumbnail against my index finger, like this. I unfold the paper, I turn it a quarter turn, and then I repeat that process, folding the paper in half again. Put a pinch in center, make sure my corners are aligned, put a pinch here, and then very gently pinch toward the center, flip it over, and do the same one more time, like this. Then I'll use my fingernail against my other finger, put a hard crease in, just like that. So now we have these 4 fold lines, and I'm going to call them reference points because that's what they are. And what that means is we refer back to where the crease line is to indicate where a fold goes. Here we're taking the bottom edge and bringing it up to the center reference line. We want to go up to it, but not over it. So something like that. I'm going to pinch here in the middle. I'm happy with how it's aligning up here. So I'll put a pinch there, and then I gently put a pinch in, rotate the paper, actually to here. Do the same thing again. I'm just aligning this corner to that edge, right up to that center line, very gently. And then I'll do a hard crease. My thumbnail against the finger behind it. And this is going to be the front of the heart, this section that we just folded upward. Now I'll fold the paper, I'll flip the paper over, and I'm going to take this bottom edge and bring it to the center line crease That's the reference line. I want to bring the edge all the way up to it, starting from this point right here. So that's where I focus on to begin with, is I make sure that that edge is coming up to the center line, but not going over it, like that. Very gently pinch it. And then I'll do the hard crease. I'm still drawing from the center out to the left and right because the paper is long enough. I think it would creep a little if I didn't do that. Then the next fold is the same. I'm just bringing this other side up the same way. And now these two sections should align here. Come close to aligning, hopefully. I'll put a pinch in the center and then gently pinch outward in each direction. And then I'll put the hard crease like that. Okay, now that's the front of your heart right there. We're going to flip over to the back side and we'll bring this top edge to that center reference line and this corner down to this intersection of where the center line and the colored part of the paper meet. This is what that looks like. And again, I'm not putting any hard creases in until I'm happy with where that paper is aligned, like that. And then once I am, I put a little crease there and then just pinch it. Then I'll use my fingernail again against the finger behind it. So it looks like this. And then we do the same with this side. Bring this corner down to the center. And there's no correct way to hold the paper. I think for everyone it might be different. It just depends what feels the most comfortable in your own hand. And that's how you should hold the paper as you fold it. So put the creases in. Now this next step is one that you won't find in tutorials if you find other tutorials for this particular heart, but I found it really helps a lot. What I like to do is I've turned the paper over so that these flaps are facing upward. I want to fold this white triangle in half without folding this little flap on the other side. That's the front of the heart. And doing this puts in not just a reference point, but an actual guideline crease. And I'm only folding the white part. I'm not going to worry about folding where the colored part of the paper is. See that? And once I put the crease in, I unfold it. And I'm even running my fingernail against it to unfold it as much as I can to flatten it back out. And then I want to do the same on this side. Don't fold this top flap, just fold the white paper. And you might have to kind of guide the white, guide this whole flap as if you're folding it in half, just to release it so that you're able to position this, but you're not folding anywhere beyond where that colored piece of paper starts. Okay. So just like that, I put a hard crease, I undo it. See how I didn't put any creases on that front piece of paper? Now, I'm going to turn the paper over. Now those open flaps should be facing downward, like this, and you'll see why. We want to fold this piece of paper in half, bringing this point down to this point. And if we didn't put those two creases in, it's really hard to do without making these little pockets shift. So now the most you'll have to do is, say, insert your finger in here to release that pocket. And then the paper just knows where to fold there. And you can just very gently position everything. Do the same on this side. See how the paper is kind of locking up. So here, I might let that release a bit. Open this pocket, and then the paper just goes right down. And then I align the center point to the bottom point, put a pinch here in the middle, and then I just pinch across the model Here it's harder to put in a hard crease because you don't want to tear this paper. So I put in the hard crease as best as I can, like that. And then I just rotate the paper to try to catch under the white section. The next step is to fold these white triangles towards the center. The points won't reach the center, but that's just the direction we're folding. And the fold is right here. That's your reference point, is where the white paper has an edge. This point should align to that folded section of the paper. That's how you know you're keeping this centered. And then here, this is where you're folding through several layers of paper. And if you wanted to, you could use a bone folder, or this is a bamboo folder, where you set the paper down on your table and you angle this edge and you just press against the paper, and it'll put a nice hard crease in the paper without having to have fingernails, like that. I'll do the same on the other side here, making sure this point aligns there. That's what my heart looks like now. This is still the back. The next step is to take this top corner and bring it down here to where the white diagonal line ends. Here you can go pretty much straight to a hard crease because it's such a short distance. It's not going to shift or anything like that. You still pinch it and hold it in place. Then repeat. Take this point, bring it down here to the center. Like that, and put in a hard crease. Then we'll repeat on this side. Put hard creases. You don't need much of a nail. My nails could be just barely long, and it would still be enough to set these kinds of folds. Excuse me. And this is the front. But see how pointy it is? The final two folds are what my friend James Ward Peake calls a rat fold. And rat stands for right about there. It means there's no reference point. And it's subjective. You can decide where you want the fold to be, depending how high you want the heart to be, or if you want it to look a little bit more full. If you want it to look full, you go down lower. I like that spot. So now I'm going to just pinch the paper very gently to make it straight. And when I think it's straight, I will pinch it harder, and then I will crease it with my fingernails like that. Now this is the tricky part, is putting the same fold on the other side so it matches. There's no rule that says it has to match, but it just looks nice if it does. If you want wonky hearts, you can just fold them wherever you want on each side. So that looks good to me. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to put a hard crease in here. And that is my origami heart. Now to make it into an easel, I want to take this flap and fold it upward right to where the white triangles begin. And this doesn't have to be a hard crease. You just have to pinch it, unfold it, let it come back up at that angle. And by doing that, you create an easel so that the heart can stand up on its own, like that. So the thing to keep in mind when you fold a star box is whatever side of the paper is facing upward when you begin will be the side that becomes the interior of the box and the flaps that you see. I'm going to go ahead and start with the white side up because I think it's easier for you to see some of the folds that way. We will fold the paper in half again, but instead of into a rectangular shape, we will fold it into a big triangle. And all the same principles as before, where I'm pinching in the center after aligning the corners. I'm going to make sure that my corners here are aligned and pinch there, then pinch between the 2 points. Flip the paper over. Make sure that the corners are aligned, the center is still aligned, and then softly pinch everything together. Then I'll use my fingernails to set the creases. Now we're going to fold the paper in half again, bringing the 2 wide corners together to make a smaller triangle, making sure everything is aligned. That. I'll put a harder crease in the center of my paper, and then crease to the left and right, and then use my fingernail to make the hard crease. The next step is called a squash step, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You put your finger in this pocket and just make sure this paper is opened up, if you can, all the way to the interior point on the bottom there. Once you have this open, rotate the paper like this so that other triangle is coming off the side. And then all you have to do is press this paper down. You're squashing it. And as you squash it, you want to make sure that it's aligned with the flap and the back side of the paper, like this. I'm going to squash it all the way to this point here, and then firmly hold all these layers together. I'll go ahead and pinch along here, then trade hands, pinch along here. Now I'll have a square with a triangle hanging off the side. I want to set those creases with a hard crease, like that. And to do the same fold now on the reverse side, it's actually easier if we lay in a guideline crease along this edge. We do that by bringing this point up to the top, making sure to fold the paper in half, starting from this point down here. So we bring that edge right up to where we have this guideline crease already, and the point at the top. So you align it and then hold it all in place. Put your hard creases in, unfold the paper. And this one is easier in a way. You'll open up that pocket, but now you're turning this paper as if you're turning the page of a book. Like pretend this triangle is a book page and you want to read the next page. So you want to fold it on that crease line that already exists. And if you fold it back onto itself, then you can see where the squash fold is already happening. And you do it the same way. You just squash. But this one's even easier because you have creases made to the left and right, and it literally just falls into place like that. Now that it's open on the top side here, make sure this is here, because the bottom side, everything's connected shut. Make sure you can see the reverse side of your paper. This is a simple fold, and we'll do it 4 times. We're going to take this outer edge and bring it up to the center line without going over the center line. So like this. And I'm not creasing this at all yet. I'm just holding it in place as I work the fold all the way up to the tip, right there. Like that. I pinch it in place, and then when I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and put the hard creases. I'll repeat it on the other side. Again, there's no correct way to hold the paper. You can rotate it whichever directions you need to rotate it for it to be comfortable to you. Put the hard creases in, then flip the paper over and do those same 2 folds to the back side. This. And put harder creases. I'll do it one more time. These are guideline folds. So that means when you're done, you'll open all 4 folds again. And now, because you already know what a squash fold is, this should be very easy. Where you see this crease line, you're going to open this pocket up and let the paper fold back on itself where that crease line is. But I'm going to hold it open here at the top with one finger and use the other hand to then squash where that crease line is here should meet. See if I can get away from the reflections here. It should meet where the papers intersect. See how they split there? So that is the goal, is for that line to meet up with where the papers are separated. There, now you can see it. See the line? And then I just squash it into place. So now I've done 2 square squashes, and I'm going to do 4 triangle squashes. So same thing, just open this pocket up as far as you can to the base of that, like a little cone, and then watch how easy this is to align the crease mark here with where the papers are split. There, inside. Do a soft pinch followed by hard creases. Then I flip it over. I do those same 2 folds 2 more times. Like that. And then a 4th time. Like this. Okay, so both sides look the same. We're going to open this side, and we're going to open the other side. And basically what we're doing is we're flattening the side we were working on, so each side faces itself, so that we have the solid sides. I'll do that one more time. So we have this. We're going to open it up. So you see the solid side there. Open it up. You see the solid side there. And just flatten them this way. Now where you can see these crease lines, we're just going to fold the paper back upon itself on the front. Flip it over. Do it again. We only have to do it twice because folding the paper back upon itself already folded the other 2 sides into the same kind of position for the flaps. Okay. Now we want to put a fold across here. That's going to be the base of the box. And it's right from where this folded over flap sits on top of the other solid color piece of paper. So from this point to that point, there you can really see it. And the way you know you're doing it straight, again, is to make sure that this point aligns with where the paper splits, right in the center there. And just kind of, I'm using my thumb to just nudge this section up as high as it will go and making sure that the point is aligned. Here I'll use my thumbnail. This would be a good spot to use the bamboo folder or bone folder. Once you've done that, you unfold it. That will be the bottom edge of the box. So now we want to fold these little star flaps down. And we do that by folding it right to where the white paper meets the colored part of the paper. And again, this point will be aligned with where the crease line is in the center. So you can see there's a break there. Flip it over, do that same fold again, bring it all the way to where the white paper meets the other side of the paper, and keep that point on the center line. Then we'll do that same fold we just did before where we open the left and right sides, and we fold shut the two sides we were just working on, and that exposes the other two sides where we can repeat the same step 2 more times. Like this, put a crease in, flip it over, and now we open the box. And the best advice I can give you is to do it slowly. If you do it slowly, you won't pull it apart. If you don't do it slowly, you might pull it apart. The easiest way to explain how to do this is I put my finger inside and see where you can see where the crease lines are here that we put in before. Not sure if the light is letting you see them there. I'm just going to push outward above the crease line, not below it, just above it. And you could kind of see how that popped out. I'll do that on all 4 sides. And I'm not worried about putting a hard crease there. I'm just very gently pushing the paper open. And when I've done that 4 times, the box is just going to appear. And see how this side, it didn't fold right on the line? That's okay. I'll just push it a little bit more. And now my box is pretty much opened up, but I want to set this crease. So I just go around and very gently pinch that bottom edge of the box on all 4 sides, like that. And then I flip it over and I pinch the flap all the way around on the interior sections, and then I can kind of pull this up, pull these flaps up a little, and they should hold. It should hold its form. And there you have a star box. I will say if you have a choice between thicker or thinner origami paper, it's better to use the thicker paper to make the box with and the thinner paper to make the hearts with. You could even make boxes like this larger using something like scrapbook paper, but don't try to use scrapbook paper to make small boxes like this because it will be very difficult to fold. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all have fun with this project.
Thanks for checking out our program, everyone. I hope you had a blast. If you want to see more programs like this one, check out our KDL Facebook page or our KDL YouTube page. Have a great day and happy reading.